Hello, you join us in the shed at Benny Holt. Now, a lot of our visitors have been asking lately for some more videos of looking in detail at our locomotive fleet. So we were having a little bit of a head scratch the other day and decided to get making. So today it's the first one, which is our newest locomotive, City of Truro. So, in all good traditions, we'll start in the cab and work from the left to the right. So, over here we have the air horn, quite a fun feature of this engine. And as I say, powered by air, but unfortunately with it being switched off today and there's no air in the system, we can move the controls and nothing will happen. So we've got a low tone and a high tone on the air horn. Moving across, we have got a coupling lamp. So at each end of the locomotive, on the buffer beams near the couplings, there's a small lamp so that if we're working in the hours of darkness, we can switch it on to the front or to the rear, and that will give us a little bit of extra illumination to see where we're putting air lines. Now here we've got the sander button. Now, unlike on a steam locomotive, you've got sanders on this loco that are powered with air. So you push the button and that sends a jet of air through the sander and down onto the railhead, which again helps you get adhesion. So here we've got the gears. Now, unlike a conventional locomotive, this one has got 2 gears. That's because the transmission on this is effectively what you would find in a JCB telehandler. So we've got a first and a second, albeit normally you can have more on a telehandler, but we only run with 2. The first one is a low speed for shunting and slow moves around the yard, and the second is a bit more for high speed running with passenger trains on the main line. We've got the headlight control here, and we've got front and rear, lovely big LED headlights which really illuminate the track in the hours of darkness. The all-important ignition key, that's very essential for obvious reasons, otherwise we wouldn't be able to start the engine. Here we've got the direction switch, and this one you select forward, neutral or reverse, and right next to that we have the locomotive's air brake. So the air brake is on the loco as well as for the carriages. So when you're moving, this locomotive is such a dream to drive because you've just got one brake, unlike on a steam engine where the brake for the engine is often on the handbrake. You've got this all powered by the air. You've got gauges here, so you've got for the speedometer and you've got the air gauge, and obviously they're fairly self-explanatory. You need to see how fast you're going, and the air tells you how much air is in the system to power things like braking and horns. Moving over to this side, you've got the throttle. So obviously like an accelerator in a car, this puts more revs. And then further over to here, we've got the fan. And that's quite a nice feature of this locomotive because unlike most of them, this one's fitted with heating. So the fan is for the cab heating. So in the winter when we're driving this, and this locomotive was spec'd for winter operation when we're in the cold, we thought we'd fit ourselves a little bit of heating. Also got the controls for the windscreen wiper here. That's obviously in our Cornish sunshine inevitably required, so they're just there, as well as some warning lights for transmission pressure, oil temperature, and a handbrake as well. This one here is the final control, which has basically, as it says, self-explanatory. If all else fails, you put the emergency brake on. Now, under the desk, you will notice this silver pedal, and this is what's known as a dead man's pedal. So at all times when the locomotive is being driven, the dead man's pedal must be compressed as so, and that will allow it to take drive. If the pedal is not pressed, then that means the locomotive won't take power and won't move. As well as that, it doesn't release the air brakes, so it completes an electronic circuit which allows the brakes to release and the locomotive power to engage. It's a very clever safety feature. Now, another piece of safety equipment on this locomotive is the radio. Now, the radio is used to communicate with the wider site, but more importantly with the other drivers. So it's quite simple. We're on our correct radio channel and we try and communicate with the other train. City of Truro to Ellie, radio test, over.
Take on order, please, City of Truro.
Just like that. Thank you very much, clear and concise. City of Truro out. Now we're going to take a look in the engine bay on this locomotive, powered by a rather substantial 4-cylinder Perkins diesel unit, driving onto a JCB transmission through the drop boxes and prop shafts to the bogies. So at this end we start with the all-important fan and the radiator. Moving along, you've got the main engine with your oil filters, fuel filters. You've got your oil dipstick there and filling points for the engine oil. Here we've got the transmission dipstick. Now this is quite a party piece for this locomotive, because to check the transmission oil, it's absolutely enormous. But it has got to go a rather long way to get to the oil sump for the transmission. There we go. Moving along, we've got the electromagnetic clutch, which controls the prop which drives our compressor to build the air. We were talking about that drives the horns and the brakes, things like that. And this locomotive's got some quite nifty little features, as well as, of course, the electromagnetic clutch. We've also got chain lubrication and flange lubrication as well. So you just turn those on either way and that will just drip through at your own pace. Also, we've got sand, and these are very important to achieve good traction and grip on the wet, slippery rails. Both sides have sand pots, diesel filling points, and of course the all-important big horns. And a little fact for you, these horns are actually off of a full-size railway locomotive. Well, that concludes our look around City of Truro. I really hope you've enjoyed it today. Don't forget, if you've ever got any questions about our locomotives, just talk to our drivers. They will be delighted to answer and show you around. So join us again soon and we'll be looking at some more of the Lappa Valley locomotive fleet.